aghast by the handling of the federal government of this herdsmen issue?
Absolutely. Absolutely. With all the resources at the disposal of the federal government, to allow Nigerians to be killing themselves this way, it's unfortunate. Some of it could be avoided. You are now preaching peaceful coexistence to people who have, you are coming to take my land and you want me to fold my hands and say, feel free to take my land. I watched the video, I think it's gone viral now, by Chief Olufalai, how his farm was set ablaze by these criminals and heartless people.
You think they are terrorists too?
Well, go to how they're described. They call the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization. That's what it's becoming.
Do you think they are Nigerians?
I don't know who they are. Those they have arrested either were Nigerians. First and foremost, they are human beings. Wherever they are, if the law has been applied and justice is not delayed to the extent that humans' hearts are set to do evil and to continue to do it, we'll not be in this mess. This is how Boko Haram started like a little rat until it became a terrible monster that the nation could not handle. This one has started. Look, if I tell you I grew up in the north, please believe me. I mean, I've seen Fulani herdsmen before in our neighborhood. We'll play with them. They play with us. All this one carrying AK-47, who gave them the guns? Who licensed it for them? Who is watching how it is used? What law are they violating on a daily basis that the government has not stepped in and said, this cannot continue?
If you were the president of Nigeria, what would you do differently?
I would clamp them down.
How?
In so many ways. In so many ways. Look, every man has his own territory. Yes, we are a nation. Why do you call southeastern part of Nigeria Igbo? Why do you call southwestern part of Nigeria Yoruba? The lands belong to the people who are there. Are there no forests in Sambisa Forest where you can have ranches? I can understand if you say, let us create ranches because this will boost our economy. But the word colony use is so unfortunate and absolutely insensitive. Who are you colonizing?
Have you read the statement released by former President Olusegun Obasanjo?
About what? Yes.
He said a lot of things, and one of it is the fact that he believes that this government has failed. Do you think so?
No matter how you look at it, this is not the government we all hope for. This is not what we thought this government that promised change at the beginning. This is how they will perform so woefully. Is any right thinking Nigeria will agree with that? But you can then begin to do the blame game that began in the Garden of Eden. It is the woman you gave me. It is the ministers that are not performing. It is the ill health of Mr. President himself. He's just recovering. Maybe he'll wake up tomorrow. But so many things. And you can also blame the past and say, okay, the past administration did this, the past administration. You knew what you were going to, even if you didn't know all of it. You accepting responsibility to govern a nation and to serve a people, you should be ready. They could have done better than what they have done. They themselves know that.
Is this the same man that you ran with in 2011?
I once did a video, the Buhari I know, and I meant every word. I sincerely did that video. I hope I will not be pushed to do a video, the Buhari I didn't know.
Is this the one that you don't know?
So many things that happened that I couldn't even figure out. You must know that I must have been pushed to the wall before I spoke last Sunday. And many people, you could see it, pastors were saying, I'd compromised my faith, and they've settled me, I've eaten, therefore I'm not talking. I went to a Jota because of anti-subsidy, Jonathan this, Jonathan that. They've forgotten that I marched the streets when I didn't know Jonathan from Adam, so that proper constitutional order can be maintained in our country. I marched south, I marched north to ensure that we follow. And I didn't know President Jonathan then. I didn't think it was time for me to march again, so I didn't bother to march, but I'd gone behind the scene. I must give something to President Buhari. Every time I'd sought opportunity to see him, he opened the door. And I'd gone with different recommendations, just as others have done. But perhaps at implementation stage, I do not know whether to believe the theory of a cabal or the wicked around the throne of the righteous, because he alone cannot deliver all these things. A tree does not make a forest, but leadership determines what happens, because everything falls or rises on leadership. The type of leader you are will determine the type of people you attract to yourself. That's what is baffling to me.
Is the Buhari you know nepotic?
I had no reason at the time I ran with him to ever believe he was nepotic. There was no reason, because he did say to me, you will assemble the best and the brightest and the fittest, east, west, north, and south of our country to fix this country. But when I read what Obasanjo wrote and I saw the list of appointments made, key appointments made, you'll begin to think that way. Did they just put the things on his table to sign, or is this just what he did deliberately? That's food for thought.
You said there is a deliberate silence in the FG's handling of the Herdsmen attacks. If you were the president today, would you declare a state of emergency in that area?
Listen, the first thing I would do, just as Mr. President relocated the command, the armed force command of the war against Boko Haram to northeast, almost everything we have at our disposal will be in those strategic positions, those hotspots where these things are happening. If we need to bomb the place, we want those who are there. This is about to happen, so that we'll force them into their holes or they leave peaceably. There's no way we'll just fold our arms. I might not declare a state of emergency because there's governor there, but I will connect to the governor there to ensure that these people are tracked to their rat holes and they are fished out, and the law will take its proper course.
Pastor Bakare, do you want to be Nigeria's president?
Do I want to be?
Yes.
I think it's destiny, and the right time, at the right time, you will see it happen before we see in a very short time.
How clear was it when you said God spoke to you about the destiny that you have on your hands to lead this country? And what in clarity, because a lot of people have been asking, what exactly is Pastor Bakare talking about? Is he running in 2019?
I have no desire whatsoever to join any political party in Nigeria today, because two cannot work together except they agree. Neither do I have any desire to run against President Muhammadu Buhari if he's running in 2019, because we've come a long way. However, what I know that is resolutely clear in my spirit is the day will come when I will shepherd this nation in line with our prophetic destiny. That is settled in my spirit.
Is it as a spiritual leader or as a political leader?
I'm not Ayatollah Khomeini. I'm not trying to advocate. We cannot be battling the Sharia crisis and you replace it with canon laws. That's not what I'm advocating. For as long as I could recall, I knew that my destiny is intertwined with that of Nigeria. And the reason I accepted to run with President Buhari is to showcase what could be done if you have the right peg in the right hole. A square peg in a square hole, a round peg in a round hole. Unfortunately, there have been sort apparent, almost you could see a lack of capacity, a lack of competence. I don't even think we have character of true leadership, or the bravery and the courage and the wisdom required to administer a people. For example, it is not wrong for a leader to say, I missed it there. Look at the minor gate. It is not wrong to say, oh, this was what I intended doing, this is how it came out, but this will militate against this next time, and we have put this in place to ensure this does not repeat itself.